Okay, so I was saying in a prior video how the Charlie Kirk stuff was very politically charged and how it is pretty much terrorism, and that if people kept killing these rich people, things would definitely change. Now, whether that be it would always be in the worst interest of the people involved. There are talks that they're trying to make new laws, and they're going to be able to pass these laws because they're going to do it on the principle of terrorism, which means that they can pass it without any real with full disregard to the American people. And I think it's sad to see, but what did they expect, honestly? Here we go.
Hoping to learn about the suspect as we await those charges against him. Joining me now, Fox News contributor, former D.C. police detective and defense attorney Ted Williams, along with retired FBI supervisory special agent, former head of FBI active shooter response training, their program there, Rob Chadwick. Gentlemen,
I don't think Tyler Robinson was charged with terrorism, though the assassination of Charlie Kirk absolutely falls within the boundaries of terrorism, because it is an assassination based on politically charged conversations in, I guess, in a form political power, which by killing this person, and you could really see it in the internet, made people online say, well, if you don't want to be killed, then don't do the X, Y, and Z, which would be getting up there and I guess using your freedom of speech to talk. I don't even know at this point. So that's kind of where it's all falling.
You both for being here on this Saturday. Ted, I want to start with you. As the governor has talked a little bit about the motive out there, Governor Spencer Cox, and he's also talked about this being an attack.
There's also talk that Tyler was living with a trans person. We don't know if they're together or what.
On all of this right now,
I want to make this very clear. It doesn't matter who he was dating or if he was trans. What matters is that a mentally ill person obviously went out and has now killed somebody for politically charged reasons, which under any circumstance is never okay. The concept of murder and killing somebody to prove a point is an absolutely disgusting and barbaric way to get any point across. And if that's what you have to turn to, then you need to stop playing the game you're losing at, period.
The probable cause affidavit, it has aggravated murder on there. But is there a potential for a much broader charge? Both at the state
level. Everyone wants this guy to be charged with terrorism, and he should be.
Federally speaking, as we look ahead to this upcoming week. Ted.
Hi, Molly. I have to believe that the killing of Charlie Kirk under the circumstances here is an aggravated murder offense that carries the death penalty.
And they do have the death penalty where he shot and killed Kirk, so.
There are some quirks in the Utah death penalty law that may stop this from happening. However, I believe, and I do believe as we speak, that the President of the United States may very well be listening to what I am saying. And I'm asking the President of the United States to go to the Congress and enact a terrorism penalty for killing someone under the circumstances in which Charlie Kirk was killed here.
I absolutely agree with that. The fact that this guy wasn't charged with terrorism, it's kind of disgusting. The reason why Taylor Robinson did what he did was to make people that had the same mindset as Charlie Kirk be scared to speak their opinions. And it was obviously politically charged. I don't understand how this guy isn't being charged with terrorism or acts of terrorism, because that's totally what it is. And you could see the aftermath whenever you go to comments of people who have talked about this and them saying these horrible, gruesome, terrible things. And Kai, I can't even tell you how many comments I've had to remove that have said, well, you know, if you go into the lion's den, don't be surprised when the lions attack you. This is America. This isn't a lion's den. There's this thing called freedom of speech that protects everybody who speaks their mind. It's the reason why you can flip off a cop and they can't do jack about it. It's no longer freedom of speech whenever you're threatening to harm somebody.
That this man, Tyler Robinson,
Or you actually go out and do it.
intentionally planned, premeditation, all of the things that are necessary are there to have a terrorism policy.
I'm so happy that political and officials see that. I thought I was crazy because I didn't see or hear anybody else talking about it, and I'm just like, why isn't nobody talking about the fact that this is obviously a form of terrorism?
Law on the books, and we do not have that on the books at this stage, and we really need that.
Yes,
and
we do.
President
Yes,
Trump,
sir.
you can call this the Charlie Kirk Terrorism Act, but I ask you to go to the Congress.
Absolutely based person, by the way. Guy's got a really good head on his shoulders. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking
and
about.
do that. It is necessary.
It is.
In this time and age.
Rob,
Yes, you always have to keep growing and evolving your laws. Got to.
bringing you in on the points that Ted was making, the full impact of this, it doesn't seem emotionally, and when you think about how this occurred before a large group of young people, more than 1,000 people.
This is absolutely an act of terrorism. It meets the definition of terrorism. This is a person.
Thank you so much. Bro, I can't tell you how many times I've said that in my videos. I don't understand how this guy isn't being charged with terrorism. This is like the fundamental base definition of terrorism, what he did here. It's terrible.
To influence or undermine or change the way we behave through violence. And
that's exactly what it is.
It's clearly an act of terrorism, as are so many of these other previous assassinations.
And that's what's really crazy is like then it gets gassed up by all these people that get online after this and that are saying, well, then if you don't want to get shot, then don't act like this. And it's like, bro, you guys were the minority. What are you talking about? You're acting like a terrorist sleeper cell. You can't do this to people. You can't sit here and do this. And now there's talk that like China or like parts of like Asia also have bots that are going on people's channels and leaving like negative comments about Charlie Kirk's death, like trying to gas it up even more. It's mind blowing. It's insanity. And then you obviously have these idiots that don't know how to go out and touch some grass that are reading these comments and getting gassed up even more, and then they go out and do something like this, and it's so sick.
They're trying to coerce our society, into changing the way we behave.
That's right.
Think. And so there's no question it meets the definition of terrorism. And so I believe that both the Department of Justice...
Well, that's the reason why you saw so many people come together after Charlie Kirk died. It's just like the Boston bombing and the terrorist attack on 9/11. Like, even if you don't call it for what it is, the heart of the American citizens know what it is. It's a time to come together and cry, yeah, but then come together and stomp out this cancer that is infested the U.S. To get these people removed from their jobs and being told it's not okay to advocate for violence and death. It never has been. If you want to protest peacefully, anything above peacefully protesting is rioting. That is also violence. There are ways to do things, and the way that they have been doing things has not been the correct way.
And certainly the executive branch as a whole will pursue this as it should be, as a terrorist investigation, and pursue it as such. No question.
Rob, one more question.
And I want to make something clear. Whenever Trump lost the election, I think it was 4 years ago. Well, I don't even remember what it was, but 4 years ago when Biden got elected and then the people stormed the Capitol. Yeah, a lot of those people went to jail for 4 years. Some of them definitely didn't deserve to go to jail for 4 years, though. A lot of them did, and then some. I don't agree with a full pardon without checking the backgrounds and the individuals that did this. I'm not going to agree with that. Some of them didn't deserve 4 years. Some of them did. Some of them did things way worse than just entering the property. Those people should have been dealt with accordingly and given their sentence accordingly.
Before we move on to the next topic for you, we know that conservative speakers on college campuses have faced many threats in recent years. And we know that even...
And it also blows my mind that these universities are allowing these protests to block up these students from being able to get to their classes. Like, some of these students pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to attend these colleges just for some idiot with a sign to block up their path whenever they're just trying to get to their classes and do what they're supposed to do. Because you know that those students don't get reimbursed for that whenever the campus has to be shut down for the rest of the school year because of some stupid protest that caused a bunch of students to get locked up inside of a library or something, like a dormitory. No, they don't get that money back. They miss out that year, and it ruins their ability to, finish out college.
Just very recently, the President of the United States was nearly killed by a shooter on a rooftop. And here we look at this bowl that we're looking at.
You have to realize also Charlie Kirk didn't want a lot of security around him because, number one, he's not a running political official. He has no want to run. He had no want to run. Maybe he would have in the future. But at present stance, he had no real desire to be a senator or a governor or any form of actual political power figure. So he didn't think he needed this. And obviously it looks kind of bad whenever you have to have an entire security team just to chit-chat with people. It doesn't look good. Especially whenever you try to advocate for come out and we'll talk, No need to advocate for violence and death. Let's just talk. Let's just chit-chat using 2 microphones. It just...
From Utah on the campus, looking down from essentially rooftops. Is it time to ensure that the rooftops are looked at in the cases anywhere where there's a public speaker, particularly?
And it doesn't even have to be a public speaker. That could have been Taylor Swift, or like, for example, the lady that made Harry Potter books, because she had that one weird instance of being called like racist or sexist or whatever, and then like, she made that Harry Potter game and people boycotted it. Like, what if she had gotten on stage to announce it and then someone shot at her? Like, what if I don't know, like, it could have been Will Smith going up there to talk about how, we need to give everybody $1,000 a month for just being a U.S. citizen, universal basic income, and then he gets shot at and killed. Like, I would expect this amount of backlash from either side. Doesn't matter who or where it's from. It's just a matter of when you advocate for this and then you think that you're not going to face any actual repercussions, you should know that the internet's always watching, always listening, always learning. And I've never been a fan of cancel culture, but in a sense, this isn't cancel culture whenever you decide to advocate for death online and then you lose your job because the internet goes after you for advocating for death.
On college campuses,
you get what you deserve
in this apparently very heightened environment.
Well, as someone who spent quite a great deal of time on the planet, don't have access to what the president of...
You with this next case, moving this forward, really on the same topic though, another case, political violence going on. Ryan Ruth, he's the man, of course, accused of trying to assassinate President Trump. This was in the golf course though. He's facing his first
circumstances has a fool for a client. But I got to tell you, the evidence in this case, brave Secret Service agents...
I guarantee you, if they pass laws that monitor online like comments and stuff, and they have an actual like online ID, you have to give your ID in order to be on YouTube or something, and they pass laws that crack down on this, these threats, these acts, these online threats of violence and death, I promise you, you're going to see a lot of people no longer doing this. Because it's crazy. It's insanity. You couldn't do that. If you walked up to somebody right now and you threatened to harm them, your ass would be sitting in jail. Promise you. What makes you think you can do it online and get away with it?
Spotting him and shooting at him and him getting away but later being found, this could have ended very differently. And if I just for a moment may go back to our the topic that we covered on Charlie Kirk, I am saying a domestic terrorism act is what we need in place.
I agree.
We don't have that in this country, Molly.
I agree. I think we do. We need a law for that.
And
it's sad that we have to worry about U.S. citizens harming or killing other U.S. citizens, but that's the day and age we live in, and our laws need to adapt to that. Our federal laws need to adapt to that, because this is definitely a federal incident.
Rob, to you on this, and feel free to weigh in on the Ruth trial as well. But we're also following developments in this really just horrific, deadly stabbing of a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee on a Charlotte public transport. We now know that the suspect had been arrested, let go more than a dozen times for other offenses. He's
very similar. That's what happens whenever you get these people in political power that are trying to lower their jail numbers, and they keep letting these repeat offenders out, even though they should be incarcerated for a very long time. And instead of doing that, they're just releasing them to make the numbers of the jail get lower and lower. It makes no sense. If they do a crime and they hurt somebody or intend to hurt somebody or steal something or intend to steal something or do something of the nature that is violence or an act of violence, they need to be incarcerated for an extended period of time. No more of this releasing them back out the next day or giving them prison jail of all things. Enough of this.
Facing federal charges, he could get the death penalty as well. Rob, final word on that.
And it's sad that the federal government has to step in, because these states' laws are so lax that they don't even protect their own citizen, much less people from a Ukrainian country that are running from a war. Because that's who was stabbed on that bus, on that public transportation, by that homeless guy. Someone who escaped war just to get killed here in America. They looked for asylum, and instead they got death.
To you, and also if you'd like to say anything about the Ruth federal case that's underway right now.
You know, Molly, one of the very last communications that Charlie Kirk issued was on Instagram. And I'm going to read it. It's super important because it applies here. He talks about right now, millions of people are finding out that you can become a magistrate judge in many states without being a licensed lawyer.
That's
Teresa
crazy.
Stokes never passed the bar exam, fully empowered to repeat criminal offenders to roam the streets, to murder innocents.
There it is.
Utter lunacy. And Charlie
How
Kirk,
are you able to become? They're gonna have to make a federal law against that now too, I guess.
is right. He was silenced for his rational discussion about this very issue. That's something that we're going to have to examine. Is how is this possible, where someone who hasn't even passed the bar exam is sitting as a magistrate judge, able to let a repeat violent offender on the streets who is clearly a menace to society? So that's something that we're going to have to deal with very quickly.
Like, how come you keep letting the lions out in the zoo? Like, he already ate like 3 kids. Why are you sitting there trying to let him eat like 8 more? Like, what? Why? What the heck is going on here? Like, do they get some kind of, like, they must be getting some kind of monetary gain for keeping the jails low. Maybe it helps them get back into. Maybe it helps them keep their seat if they're able to tell the people of the state, well, our rehabilitation programs, even though there's not any, are just instead letting them out, are keeping the prison system numbers low. It just makes no sense. It's just so stupid.
And Ted, to you on this as well, your thoughts on what happened there in Charlotte. And Rob raised a great point about Charlie Kirk, how he talked about and was often vilified and on the cultural issues, but he also talked a lot of really deep policy issues that are things that intimately affect the American people, particularly on this issue of crime as well, that we're watching and discussing so much across America. Ted, your thoughts?
You know, Molly, riding a subway should not be a death sentence.
Amen.
Tragically,
That's the thing that a lot of people don't seem to understand whenever they're advocating that or saying that it's okay that what happened to Charlie Kirk was because he was inside of a lion's den. You are trying to justify something that is irrational. And it's crazy. You are absolutely insane for trying to justify the murder of somebody. Let me tell you something. If you can justify something as insane as that for somebody you don't like, what's going to happen whenever someone you don't like does it to you? That's such a double-edged sword, it's not even funny. The laws are there to protect people unbiasedly. That's what it's there for.
This Ukrainian woman was killed there by someone who was in fact a career criminal, but this person also suffered from mental illness. I do realize that the federal government is seeking charges for mass transportation.
That always bothers me. Supposedly they let this guy out so many times because he's got mental illness. Okay, then put him in an asylum. Keep them away from the general population where people pay their taxes and go to work and strive to be better. Put him in a frickin' cell put him in a padded room where he can sit there and rock back and forth all day. Don't let him back out in the general population. We need to think about the Americans that just want to do things peacefully. They want to go to work. They want to come home. They want to pay their bills. They want to get their food. They want to eat. They want to watch their little YouTubes or their TV shows. We got to think about those people and get these mentally ill freaks up off the street because they're killing people. They're breaking into homes. They're ruining people's lives by destroying their cars. Yes, ruining their lives. If you destroy someone's car, you know how much time and effort it takes, how many years it takes off your life whenever you get a vehicle and then someone destroys it. You know how long it takes to save up that amount of money to get a car just for some sicko that don't know how to keep their hands to themselves and their sticky fingers off of your stuff? Just to ruin it, to take those years that you saved and scrunched and all that time and effort, all those extra hours at work. It's disgusting.
System causing
those are the people we need to be thinking about, not these freaks that want to go out here and cause anarchy and riots and advocate for death and destruction. No, absolutely not.
Death of a person. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it in light of the mental illness that is known about this person. But this is something that this country has to address, and we have not addressed it very well, and that is mental illness. No one should have to ride a subway and have to watch their back.
Amen.
But when you look at what happened with this young lady, this tragic death under
and what's crazy is you could sit here and justify Charlie Kirk all you want, but what about this lady? She came here legally. She was just doing her own thing, minding her own business, and she's dead because of it. She didn't go out onto a stage and advocate for anything. No, she was just here trying to escape the war. No one even knew about this lady before she got stabbed to death. How do you defend that? Where's your defense when it comes to that?
Circumstances of just being on a subway, all of those kind of things have to be taken into consideration to protect your own safety as you go about your daily route.
Ted Williams, Rod Chadwick, thank you very much for all.
That was a W video, man. Fox has been keeping up with this like crazy. I look forward to covering this a lot on Monday. We usually stream Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to noon Texas time. Hope to see some of you new people because I've gotten quite a bit of subs. Hopefully some of you new people. I do have a vertical and a normal stream on YouTube whenever it comes out. I do stream on Kick and Twitch, but like, let's be honest here, Twitch is a joke. I wouldn't bother going over to Twitch. You guys want to help me out financially, you know, link's going to be in the description of the... I don't really keep it in the videos. I don't think it's there anymore. It might be, but I've got a Throne account if you guys want to give me something nice or just watch the videos. That really helps me out. And, yeah. But I normally stream Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to around like 11:30. Like, I think it's like standard time. Pacific time. I don't know. It's in Texas, bro. I'm in Texas. I'm in Houston. All right, man. Look it up. If you care enough, then you'll look it up. But I can't be bothered. I've got so much stuff to do. I'm out of here.